Hello and welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2018 with me, Kevin Sawyer. Hope you guys and girls are all well and enjoying your day. Right, we've got this nice little mod here, mod vehicle. You can find this on the workshop yourselves. It's from the, I think it's a team of modders, but I'm not entirely sure if it's a team or it's just one particular person. But the modder's name is Felicix. You may have already seen this already via Moose if you watch Mr. Moose's videos or anything else, but I thought I'd give it a go and see what it's all about. But anyway, let's start as we mean to move on. I've deviated a bit because originally I had my little Renault here, but I'm going to work on this thing. This looks epic. Doesn't look like it's got any V8 in it, but looks like it's got a straight 6 by the looks of it in there. Pretty cool, but it looks pretty awesome. Again, it's on the mod, well, it's on the workshop, Steam Workshop, as well as this Ford RS. This is also on the Steam Workshop, but I'll cover them once I get to those and who the models are and everything else. But let's crack on with this one. You know, I thought I'd again bring some of these in. I noticed the Bentley was getting a few extra views. Talking of which, that was one of many, and I say one of many videos I've had recently with YouTube that they say is unadvertiser friendly, and it's driving me nuts. Now I've already sort of had a little rant off on my Facebook group. I posted it, and it was like 3 of my videos now, including the last 2 of my mod showcases. That's at least the latest ones. I've had this problem. Some of my episodes of Long Dark, you know, some of my episodes of Farming Simulator, some of my episodes of this, some of, you know, just random ones, and I can't understand it. And it's just like, well, there's no reason why. As you guys know me, you know, I pride myself on trying to keep the channel as family friendly as I can. So I don't swear, you know. I try and stay away from sort of like political events, purely because that's all the things that can trip you up when it comes to YouTube. That's the things they tend to monetize and monitor for. So that's why I kind of stay away from all that. And I just don't like swearing, as you guys know anyway. Unless I'm really angry, which I am at the moment, but I'm so cold in my tongue. It's annoying, because it's just, in a sense, and it's not just me, I suspect a lot of big YouTubers are getting the same problem. Differences between the big YouTubers and the small YouTubers is they typically, a lot of their videos are getting over 1,000 views anyway. They're losing a lot of revenue, don't get me wrong, because their first 1,000 views they can't get anything but from YouTube Red viewers, which are few and far between. But you know, they still, in a sense, it's, you know, for those that are trying to live off of YouTube as a full-time job, it's potentially saying to them, well, sorry mate, but good luck on that. You're on your own. Why don't you try Twitch? You know, they're not as blasé. Well, they're a bit blasé, and they tend to allow anything to go on their channel. And that's all that's happening, and that's why I suspect a lot of the YouTubers are moving away from YouTube and going to Twitch. It's something I've spoken about a lot of times. And you know me, guys, I prefer to stay on YouTube, but if YouTube keeps on doing this, it's going to leave me very little choice but to think, right, I'm going to just start doing more stuff on Twitch, purely because, you know, it's becoming to a point where I'm not, you know, I'm not just doing it for the money, as you guys know, or the views. I like to entertain people, but on the other hand, I do like to get something back for doing that, you know. And I'm not asking you guys to sort of like shell out loads of donations per video. I'm not going to go, well, you need to pay to watch this. Pay per view, you know. One, there isn't that option there. Two, I wouldn't want to do it anyway, not unless, you know, there's a real demand for my content. And I'd probably start, I might even think about it, but it'd seem wrong in my head every time I'd even think about it. But just to get something back, in a sense, it also affects small channels like myself, because, you know, they might not be doing it for a living, but they, like myself, they might want to just like, it helps out with what the running costs of doing this, because it still doesn't come free. You obviously have to pay for recording software, etc., or internet usage to upload your videos. You know, and the games itself, they don't come free. For people like me, unfortunately, you have to buy them. I have tried sort of like several different developers and said, look, can I have a trial version of your game, to have just Tumbleweed come rolling past the internet screen saying, no response to that. Or, you know, not even a, well, thank you for your interest, but we think you're too small at the moment to warrant us giving you a free copy of this game. That would be nice. But it's just, it really drives me nuts. And as I say, I just rant and rave about it. But it's, YouTube really does need to get their act together on that, because I can't understand why. That's the thing. They don't give it any specific reason. They just say it's just advertiser friendly, you know. And it's like, ugh, fine, okay, try again. I know a workaround. Now, there's probably a couple of people watching this going, I've got the same problem. Kev, please help me. You know, do a how to get around the advertiser blocking, because I'm struggling like you. You know, they're again like me, like you. They're cutting my throat. And that's the sort of things I can envisage people thinking. And I appreciate what you're saying. And, you know, I've told a few of my close friends that are YouTubers, Sinky, you know, I'll tell TBF if he's interested in getting back onto YouTube if he gets the same problem. You know, I'll be more than happy to tell them. But the reason I'm not doing a how to get round it, as much as it probably generate a lot of views, and I mean probably quite a few views from a lot of YouTubers having the same problem, and they'd like to know why or how they can get around that problem. You know, and I thought about it, and I'm so tempted to do one. The reason I'm not doing one, because if I do that, I'm ultimately then going to show YouTube what I do to get around it. And if I do that, I'm cutting my own throat and everyone else's throat at the same time. Because then once they've realised the workaround, they're going to go, okay, yeah, there's a loop in our little software, or a little our filtering service, or whatever they call it, the dynamic or whatever it's called. There's a potential pitfall in that. We need to resolve that. So then they just figure out a way of getting round the getting round a workaround. So that's the reason why I haven't done a video for that. Sorry guys, you know, for you are YouTubers and you watch my videos. And I don't even want to, again, I don't want to even do it in private messaging, because I don't know how much, again, this sounds a bit paranoid of me, but I don't know how much YouTube monitors that. They might monitor that, you know, because they've got the power to do that. After all, MSN monitors sort of like Skype calls and instant messaging, you know. And so I suspect, you know, a lot of big companies do some sort of monetizing of chat just to minimise on the terrorist sort of things. What am I trying to do? I need to do the look away. Right, there we go. Use equipment. Are you sure? Yeah, it makes no difference. No, I think I might have already done it twice. Return equipment. Yeah. Right, cool. That's that bit done. Let's go and take the wheels off. And that's, you know, so if you're thinking, oh, PM you, tell me how you do it. If you already figured out what a way, please don't put it into the comments either. Please, guys, just don't, because you know if it works for you, great, works for you. Tell your friends that are YouTubers what the workaround is, but try and keep it a secret. Let's not tell YouTube what we're doing, because if we do, they're just going to figure out a way to stop us. And you know, I think it's more harmful to the smaller YouTuber trying to work his way up or her way up, because okay, when you start off doing this, it's not a full-time job. You do it where you can. It's a bit of a hobby for me. This is still a bit of a hobby for me. I would love to do this full-time, but the way YouTube's going at the moment and everything, I just don't envisage it ever happening. You know, I'm more thinking right, okay, I'll just keep them going to the point where they just make it so annoying that I don't want to do it anymore, and I'm just going to move to Twitch, although I'm not very good at live streaming. It's just something which I'll probably just have to think about if it gets to that point. But I don't want it to get to that point, so you know, I do enjoy entertaining you guys. It's not all about the money, it's not all about the views. If it gets to a point where the views are literally 1 or 2 on anything, then I think, right, okay. Oh, nice. Didn't realise that. They've changed the charger. That's pretty cool. Got little clip leads there and jump leads. Nice. Quite like that. Quite nice little touch. They had Christmas lights and a Christmas tree over the corner here. I wanted to do an episode with it all that, but everything else that's going on, I didn't get around to it. I'm sorry, guys. But anyway, let's put stuff together. I'll strip the engine off screen and then put that back together off screen, because that's a bit laborious work. I'll show you what type of engine it is. It's the standard V8 overhead valve with just the superchargers thrown on the top of it and some carburetors. That's the only real difference. I will build it back on screen again. I'll strip it down, and then on screen I'll start putting it back together like I did in last episode. Purely just makes it a bit more entertaining for you guys. Right, let's start off with what we've got, which is all this down here. And I'm probably going to end up needing some more Kate bushings at some point. But I just think it's wrong. Like I say, I think it's affecting... It's not just affecting smaller YouTubers. Bigger YouTubers, probably affecting them as well. Especially those that are making a living off this. Because, again, those that are trying to scratch some sort of living out of this, they have to wait until at least 1,000 views if they don't know the workaround like I do. But even with my plan, it's not great, because with my plan, you're still losing out. It just doesn't always. You don't have to wait until 1,000 views before you can remonetize it. My way, it takes. You have to unmonetize it. And do some jiggery pokery. he made it, cool. But ultimately, it could potentially affect them because, you know, if they're gonna try and do an appeal, I know YouTube. If I know YouTube like I do, it probably wouldn't get back to them straight away. So they're gonna have to. Oh, hang on, I'm running out of Kate Bushings. They're gonna have to go for the appeals process, which is ultimately gonna take them time, and they're losing money. You get losing potential money from that. So, you know, it's affecting them a fair amount, but it's also affecting the smaller YouTubers like myself, because the reason I say it affects us just as well, not monetary side of it, but ultimately because way YouTube works, I'll buy a handful of them as well on there. Probably got loads, but it's always good to have more than you need, because you're always going through them like nobody's business. While I'm actually, I'm going to buy the other bits and pieces I know I'm going to need, so I'm going to need 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, what else I'm going to need? Suspension. I'm going to need 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those, 2 of those. Let's see what else we need when we get to it. Oh, hang on, I just thought of it, but I can get that in a sec. What was that? Because for the smaller YouTubers, ultimately, because it's not monetized, they put it slightly lower in the listings anyway. Even if you left it so it's restricted, they're going to put it lower in the search listings purely because they know the only ones that are going to get any money from it, well, themselves, obviously. And because they deem it as unadvertiser friendly, they want to put it less lower in the listings than the advertiser friendly content. So, you know, ultimately it's going to affect anyone that's trying to sort of like look for a smaller channel. Some people do tend to do that. They tend to, and ultimately just prevents people like me, the smaller YouTubers, from getting more views and more traffic into the channel, because they're lower in the listings. So if they're lower in the listings, there's less likely people are going to find them, which means, you know, less likely, you know, the channel's going to ever get anywhere. So, you know, ultimately affects smaller YouTubers. But if you've got your own little workaround, like I say, if I haven't said this already, I might have said this. So please forgive me if I do sound like a broken record. I need front bumps. Please keep it to yourself, guys. Don't sort of like put a comment in the comments down below. Oh, Kev, yeah, all you need to do is do this, do that, and the other. Don't, just leave it. Because if you know, if it is similar to what I already do, I don't want YouTube knowing about it. I know, you know, whatever works for you, works for you guys. And the same goes for what I can't say. What I do to get around it. Because I just don't want YouTube to know. Because it just feels... It feels like YouTube starts saying to that smaller YouTuber, well, you know, sorry mate, but I'm going to stand here. I'm going to step on both your feet. And I'm going to prevent you from going anywhere. That's what I'm going to do. And there's nothing you can do about it. Because we're YouTube and that's what we do. And it's wrong. I think it's wrong. Myself. All they're doing is detracting people from doing this, I know there's quite a few people do sort of like YouTube gaming videos and stuff like that, and I think that's reason maybe why YouTube is doing it, to stop everyone else jumping onto the same bandwagon. They want people to do more like vlogging or like everyday like activities, like, oh look my new bike and whatever, I've gone out for a bike ride, or you know, surfing, you know, all sorts, you know, all the sort of family friendly sort of activities, hobbies, etc, etc, etc. We need upper and bottom wishbones. Lower, upper. But that's all, and they're doing the same to the big YouTubers. They're just sitting there going, well, do you know all that money you used to rely on from us? Well, that's not going to happen anymore, you know. And bigger YouTubers are sitting there going, well, you know, it's taken me however long to get to this point, to a point where I now rely on YouTube to pay my bills, etc, etc, because it's not cheap to run channels. Okay, that you don't have to pay for your channel as things go, but you still have to pay for like internet use and stuff like that for uploading your videos to YouTube. That doesn't come free, nor do the games. They don't come free. Okay, some of the big YouTubers do get given games to look at, first looks, etc, etc, and I've tried that myself. Got nowhere, just tumbleweed. You know, tried some big developers, tried small developers, said, look, can I try your game, da 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 da, can you send me a sort of like beta copy or whatever, but got nowhere. So they get more of that. More of these big developers tend to approach them rather than the other way around. But you know, I've said this quite a few times in the past, guys. It's difficult trying to sort of like progress the channel when everything's stacked against you, including YouTube. I'm looking for brakes, aren't I? Throw that in, throw that on. How are we doing for time? Oh, we've still got a little bit of time, so I can keep them going for a little while. I can't put the wheels on yet because they're not ready. Front suspension sway bar I need. I'm going to need 2 in links as well, I expect. Type B and 2 of these. Throw them in. Also, I did buy, I don't know if I mentioned this in my last episode, I may have done, I think I did, but I can't remember for sure, but I'll just mention it again. I have bought the Pontiac DLC because it was on sale when of the Black Monday and all that governance was going on, so I bought it then. I'll take that fuel tank, I almost said fish tank out then, fuel tank out. That didn't make it, right, so I need to buy one of them. So that's a coil spring, it's a rear drive. To be up towards the leaf spring, coil spring. brand spanking new, and I'm going to need 2 of them rear shock absorbers type Bs. Probably 2 rear springs as well, so I'll grab them while I'm at it. 2 of them. May need 2 of them, I suspect, because I don't think you can repair them. I don't think you can. I could be wrong, I might now have 4. I can always put in my parts for later. 2 of them. No, it's them you can redo. I knew it was something like that, so I'm glad I bought them. Need to get a fuel tank as well. Now, did that make it? It did. Well, only one of them made it though. And only one of the drive axles made it too. And one of the cylinders made it. Both brake shoes made it. The drums. I bought some drums. Did that? No, that didn't. So I need to grab one of them. But you know, if you know if you are another YouTuber out there, do happen to be watching my content, you know, is it affecting you? Is it really winding you up? Do you really wish that YouTube would reduce the review amount, so from 1,000 to something more like sensible, like 100 views perhaps? You know, even 100 would be over my limit, because I only get like, what, 20, 30 views initially in the first few weeks of anything anyway, so unless it's a mod review, then it tends to... What was I looking for? I've forgotten. Someone's shouting at me at the screen going, "It was that good. You're looking for that." I'll put that in one a minute. That was one of those back things, yeah, spring. Where are you? But is it really affecting you? You know, is it making you think I might go to Twitch or whatever? Just don't tell me what your workaround is, please, because not that I don't want to know. I just want to keep, like I say, keep YouTube out in the loop for as long as I possibly can, to the point they figure out what I'm doing and then go, yeah, we know you're fun and games, we're going to stop you from doing that. If that comes, and I'll just be like, right, yeah, I'm just going to have to either learn to live with it or just think, right, rethink my game plan. Yeah, housing type B, whatever it is, wherever it is, type B, that one. Through, oh, that didn't make it. Typical, right, okay. Brakes, that would be the place I need to be. There, one of those, thank you. And I need to put some Kate bushings in as well. And a new drive shaft as well, that needs replacing. I need to clear some of these bits out as well. I've got loads of odds and ends in my inventory. I thought I'd gone through it all, but obviously I hadn't. Right, rear drive, solid notes, drive axle, that's it. Put these bad boys in. I'm not going to tune this up because, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this at the beginning, but I did buy one of these off screen and restored it, and I tuned it up to the max, and it was just undrivable. You couldn't drive it. It was that bad. It was just too much torque. Again, you just And because until the red dot implement some sort of controller interface like a steering wheel or a controller of some kind, we're kind of stuck with what's going on with the just all or nothing throttle. Because if you had that much torque, and I know if you had that much torque coming through the back wheels or the front wheels of any car, you wouldn't just plant your foot well on the floor and go, well, I'm sure it'll be fine. No, you'd sit there and go, right, okay, this thing's a bit of a beast, it wants to kill me, I'm going to treat it with a bit of respect. So what I'll do is I'll just slowly accelerate, rather than just plant my foot down and then hope for the best, and then up spinning round and round in circles. Because that's the sort of things that like youngsters do when they're at sets of lights. I've seen it so many times. They've got this little car or whatever, and they just go, right, okay, and I'm like, right, yeah, here we go. And then they just go and they plant their foot down, and it's just lots of smoke. But then, you know, whoever's they're trying to race is probably already gone, because they've got, you know, it's normally guys going, little cars trying to go for like a BMW or an Audi or something like that. And something's like just gonna devour their car easily. But anyway, I digress. I think that's more or less. Let's just see what the value is of this car at the moment. So, just for the basic bits and pieces, without an engine in it as yet, and all the other bits and bobs, it's just over £6,000. I think I bought this for 4, so I'm already making some money. But anyway, I'll leave it at that, guys, because it's more or less gone over half hour. Hope you guys and girls enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like, and if you didn't enjoy it, please feel free to dislike, but please at least leave a comment down below so I can improve in the future. If you know anyone else that may also enjoy watching this, again, please feel free to share. It helps me out a lot, and I don't mind you sharing. And if you know anyone else that may... I've already said that, haven't I? Yeah. Yep, sorry. And if you're new to my channel, please, and you like to see more of this or anything else I'm working on, please don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. TTFN.